Welcome back to LimQ Plus, everyone. On this channel, I'm 100%ing Breath of the Wild by a bit every day until the sequel Tears of the Kingdom comes out, which is today in 92 days. Today is actually the day I already recorded one of these videos in, and I said that there's potentially a direct announcement. This ended up being true, so we are recording this video just between the direct announcement and it actually happening. If there is, and this is highly likely, a Tears of the Kingdom teaser, then after this video comes out, you will see my reaction to it on this channel. But with that being said, I am not alone today. I'm joined by Player 5, the Breath of the Wild speedrunning legend. What's up, Player 5?
Hello.
Another guest for this show, quote unquote. And today it's Player 5. And I feel like at this point I've kind of established the questions that I want to ask these people. And the first one is going to be, Player 5, how did you get into Breath of the Wild just as a video game without even speedrunning in mind?
My family's been big Nintendo fans for a while, so a new Zelda game, obviously we're gonna get it. So I played it around a month after it came out. My brother dibs. But yeah.
And did you like it right away? Because I know a bunch of people that speedrun the game didn't maybe like it as much casually, especially because it was obviously kind of a big change from like the normal Zelda formula if you were into Zelda before.
Oh yeah, I loved it. It's my favorite game and has been like the whole time.
Right, but you didn't start speedrunning the game right away. You got into speedrunning like a little bit later. I think like more towards 2020, if not later, if I'm correct. How did you get into speedrunning? Why did you know about speedrunning before you got into it? Tell me a little bit more about that, because that's obviously what you do now.
Yeah, so I got into speedrunning, was it like summer 2020? And I had, been playing Breath of the Wild. I had probably 200 hours casually. And in my casual playthrough, I had followed all of the glitches that were coming out by watching videos by like the cleric.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was really cool. But I didn't watch my first speedrun of Breath of the Wild until maybe like 2019 or something.
Right, that's kind of like when it popped off with the first big glitches.
Yeah, I think I was curious after, doing a bunch of glitches like menu overloading, weapon duping, stuff like that.
Right.
Curious to see what the speedrun looked like. And so I went to speedrun.com, saw, oh look, Skedodara with like a 27-minute time.
Right.
That sounds crazy. I watched it, saw BTBs, and knew I had to do it.
That sounds pretty similar to what it was like for me. Did you know the way you like described it? It seems like you knew speedrunning was a thing before. So you were like familiar with speedrunning before Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, I've known about speedrunning, but I wasn't ever really that interested.
Yeah.
Until Breath of the Wild.
Okay, that's interesting because I mean I'm gonna get into that later when we talk about 80% more about the Smash thing, but basically it was pretty similar for me. I played the game casually, and at the time I was speedrunning Odyssey, and I was like watching normal videos, and eventually the YouTube algorithm was like, oh, he likes Breath of the Wild, and oh, he speedruns Odyssey, so we're gonna recommend him like a Rasen sub 30 run with BTBs, and I was like, okay, I have to do that. So I definitely understand that part. But essentially, you look up the run, you think it's cool, you start doing it, and you get pretty good pretty fast. If I remember, when did you first get the records? Because obviously you got into it in like summer, but probably took a little bit at least until you ended up getting really good at it.
Yeah, the first time I got record was with the new route for Castle.
I remember, yeah, I feel like I remember looking that up, yeah.
Yeah, so essentially, old plateau, old castle. I got pretty good at it. I think I was the 4th person to get sub 27.
I was gonna say I must have gotten 26 times. Yeah, I remember that now.
And then I think I took a little break from 80% to do like all dungeons. But then the new route, stuff started happening. for any percent, and I was like, oh, I want to try it out. Turns out, saved a huge amount of time,
Right.
and I was the first person to get a big PB with it, and so I think it was like March, um, March of 2021 when I got the record, and
That
that
sounds
was
about
with
right.
2 missed castle BTBs.
Oh, those were the days then. Yeah, I guess in general, you said you did some old dungeons. I know you've recently, and in the past, have even checked out like old shrines, some of the longer categories. Obviously, I feel like those are nice categories to stream because there's like more going on. You don't always have to reset. That can be nice sometimes, even though, I mean, they all have their own difficulties in ways. But what really draws you to any percent? Because there's obviously, I would say, the category you've done the most. And the most competitive even. Do you think you're like a competitive player by nature? Also, wait, did I just get a panic blood wound? No, okay, it was just bugged. Are you a competitive player by nature? Is that what drives you? Is the records what drives you into doing it? Because you keep getting records, and I know, again, at least I was assuming you played Smash before. I feel like your Twitter bio was something about like being like a Lucina main before. Maybe talk about that real quick and how do you describe yourself? Is it just fun for you, or do you like the competitiveness? I think you just won the any percent tournament, which I feel like is pretty competitive. But yeah, maybe just from your perspective.
I'm definitely a competitive person. So with Smash, yeah, I used to play competitive Ultimate for a little bit. Kind of when I went to college, the first year. I tried it out, and then the pandemic happened, and I didn't want to play online.
Right,
Smash.
I hate playing online too.
And so that is really what got me into speedrunning, I guess, in that I dropped, the game I was sinking all my time into.
Right.
For a different game.
And speedrunning is something you can do in the pandemic without internet and still like be competitive. Oh no, not necessarily without internet, but at least without internet while you're doing it. Yeah, that's something I always was jealous of. Like, I would have probably went much more into Ultimate if there was, like, any amounts of local scene in Germany. I think they're kind of developing, but they're very small. And when I used to go to these speedrunning events, everybody would play Ultimate, like, in person. I was like, wait, this is so sick. This is, like, a different game. This is not, like, camping, people spamming Toon Link arrows all the time. We can actually, like, play the game. And then I went back here and tried to play Wi-Fi again, and it was impossible. So I definitely understand that part. But yeah, I touched on it briefly. So any percent was basically always the #1 focus. Obviously, I feel like, I mean, you can give me your own opinion about this, how much you feel like it's reasonable to... Okay, I just had the funniest death of all time happen in the back. I don't know how reasonable you think it is that there will be another minute barrier drop. Highly likely not before Tears of the Kingdom. Maybe sometime later into the game's life cycle. But what do you still have any plans, goals left for the game now? Like I said, I think you're doing all shrines right now.
Yeah, I am currently focused solely on like all shrines, trying to get a really good time in that. And then I'm not sure what I want from any percent. I might go back and try to improve it. I know I can drop it another like 10 to 15 seconds with like a really good run. And that's with like none of the new strats or like different strats.
Right.
Yeah, the next minute barrier is going to be, it's probably going to take something new, some discovery.
Right, yeah. Like when you say new strats, what are like new strats that can be added that are not massive? Something like, I remember people were trying to wind bomb after stasis, for example. I don't know if that's something that falls under that like category.
Yeah, so the big ones I think are better wind bomb in stasis. That takes you
in
straight
stasis,
to the end.
Yeah, that's fair.
There's the wind bomb after stasis that you were talking about, which requires a BTB as well.
Right.
And then also there's like a better wind bomb in mag. It's like a slightly better angle that'll send you like straight to the monk. But other than that, I mean, I think that's mostly it.
Right, just for people that are not super into any percent, these are all like small touch-ups that save some seconds, but We probably need like a major discovery for there to ever be another minute barrier drop. But if you are confused by the concept in general, a lot of speedrunners seem to focus on those quite a bit. It feels nice to drop off like another minute, and once people get those minute drops, it's fairly common that they focus on something else. And in Player 5's case, so now this all shrines. You said a really good time. Do you have any plans specifically, any goals specifically, like record or specific barrier for that? Or do you just want to see for now how long it's still going to be fun for?
I mean, last time I ran all shrines, I did like 4 finished runs, I think.
Yeah.
But this time I want to definitely try and do it for longer and actually get good at it. So I will be going for record.
I see. What do you think of the category right now? Because I really liked it. I like the duration of it too. Like I've switched to like an even longer run now that doesn't have as many SCWs. If you are watching this right now and SCW doesn't sound familiar to you, it's probably, especially the buffered version, one of the most finicky or annoying tricks, or can be at least. What do you think of all shrines as a category in its current state?
So there's actually like a new route for all shrines that like Piston just finalized the route talk, I think.
Yeah, I think I heard something about it, right?
Yeah, so that's an amiibo only route for it, but it uses like fish for the instant text box, so you can do ISCWs more consistently.
Oh, okay.
Which that'll be nice.
Yeah.
But currently, because it's amiibo only, I do want to like improve my no amiibo time, and so I'm stuck doing the current route where there's a lot of annoying RNG in it with SCW.
That's interesting.
But
I've never seen like using like how do you use the fish to get the instant text? Because you like make them from normal to roasted or something.
You freeze them.
Oh, or freeze them. Okay, I see.
Yeah, you scan them in and then you freeze it, and it works the same as a chew deli.
Interesting. Okay, that's some nerd talk at the side. But before we move on to the end of this video, there's obviously, and I don't know if you already like seen this because it's quite a little bit earlier for you, but I feel like there's no way that you haven't. I already touched on it on the beginning of the video. We're getting another Nintendo Direct tomorrow. I think this is the highest chances of getting something new about Tears of the Kingdom. I'm sure, just like me, in your stream, people constantly ask you, are you excited for it? Are you gonna speedrun it? So maybe for the people watching this channel, the record holder right now for any percent in Breath of the Wild, what are your plans for the sequel?
I will definitely be speedrunning it. I'll probably play it casually on stream. I haven't quite decided on that, but
yeah, it's definitely tricky.
That.
Like I feel like it makes a lot of sense for most people that stream this game, but at the same time, I also still want to see how much fun it's gonna be to actually stream it. But yeah, about speedrunning, I definitely feel the same. And then I'm assuming, I mean, I feel like that's what everyone is gonna do. You're also gonna be thinking about doing any percent first. I think that's always really exciting. Especially, I don't know. I mean, I guess because this is the first game you've ever speedrun and the route was like already developed. I've tried some speedruns before, and I think it's just really fun to like be there when things start going down. Like you learn a route and the next day there's like a new skip and there's like a new trick and like there's always something new. I think it's always very exciting, a very exciting time, especially for an any percent run, because people tend to optimize the one first. But I'm looking forward to seeing you over there. Do you have any specific wishes for the game casually? Because that's probably what we're going to be hearing about first, obviously, in a direct. Something that you would like to see that maybe this game didn't have, or something we would like to see come back.
Definitely more fleshed out dungeons rather than, you know, the Divine Beasts. I think that's a pretty common one.
Yeah, true. I think that is a common request.
I don't know. Maybe like more diverse like items. Bringing back kind of the dungeon items would also be pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree. Which actually that I do want to touch on because that's probably the second most question asked in my chat. What do you... So you already said you're going to be speedrunning it. What is your opinion about this? Like, would you want the same glitches to return? I'm personally always in the camp where like, dude, I actually want them to all be patched out. I don't want to play the same game again. Then I can just play Breath of the Wild. Or would you be okay with like things like, let's say, BLSS Windbomb somehow still surviving? I don't know how that would be possible, but let's just say that. Do you have a preference there?
I'm exactly the same. We already have Breath of the Wild.
Right.
It's a great speed game. If you want that, you can just speedrun this.
Okay, I'm glad we agree. I think most people, at least in the speedrun community, say this, and I feel like whenever most people that are not actually speedrunning the game, that maybe watch it or like do the glitches casually, are like, dude, I hope they don't patch out the glitches. But the people that do them for like thousands of hours are like, help me, please free me from the BLSS Windbomb curse. But we'll see. I think tomorrow we'll get some more news again. I'm going to be wrapping it up here today because I'm already at 65% apparently already. Getting a lot of Koroks. But once you see this video about 8 hours later or something, if there was any Tears of the Kingdom related stuff in the direct, I'm gonna upload it here too. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Thank you Player5 for hanging out and talking. And I will see you guys tomorrow.